Howley?
Yeah, I'm reading this to the plants, to the river, to the sun at the end of 14th Street. This is a poem about Alzheimer's. My mother is my master, you say. She lives in the world that is this world only. She greets the jasmine in her doorway as a visitor, and you say, as a newly arriving daughter of the day. The neighbours are playing Sam Cooke out on the sidewalk. At the round kitchen table, I am reading a poem of William Stafford's, How to Regain Your Soul. In the reference library, I searched for unicorns for Herbie. I sat in Ryan's Park as the sun fell. 3 teenagers got on the train chanting, "This is the blues train, this is the blues train." I walked west thinking, you asked for a song for your birthday, and I gave you a gun. This is a poem I wrote after it arises from a dance that happened it used to happen on 14th Street actually, at Dick Shea's Barefoot Boogie. Dick Shea's Barefoot Boogie was on 14th Street and 6th, and I used to go dancing there. There were the New York drummers group. The drummers would sit in a circle and the dancers would be in the circle. And the other reference in this poem is the dogs at the dog track. And these are the names of Mullingar and Longford are the names of dog tracks, or cities in Ireland where there are dog tracks, where the dogs chase the hare around the track. And the hare comes out of a trap. I sit in the darkened studio with the silent drums, the stilled mirrors. The drummers are on the roof, taking a hit. The drums stretched tight, waiting. I remember the night at the Ecstasy Club, the Filipino girl who came out dancing, as if it were her only life. At the track, I see the dogs emerging. At Mullingar, at Longford, with my father. Was I really there? The drummers return and the lights. Tonight I am the drums' dancer. I come out of traps to their call. My sorrows leave me. I am here. And I'll read this poem. It has a number of different sections. Since I wanted to walk lightly. We've closed the flight, sir. Your friend has not checked in. You had been waiting for me, despaired of my arriving. Now it was too late. The gates closed, you outside crying. I was inside, on my way to the walled garden and the late apricots. Frank had said, "Don't you think was should be is," just before he died. Dakota fell out of her hammock and so was laid up when the car careened past their tent into the lake. Phoenix beside me in the front seat, her accent changing as we drove south. What should I say? Dakota, child, the weight of your finger in my back, is the exact weight of the parrot feather that found me from somewhere in the Amazon. My friend, the artist, took pictures and I got them in the mail yesterday. His painter's technique, the two halves of the old abbey reunited. You and I on the same step, poised. Before Christianity, Pather said, it was up the mountain to Lu, the god of light. We swam upriver with the tide, past the little jetties that the fishermen use, turned on our backs, came to a dead stop, began to move downriver.
Great. So what was the first poem you opened this cycle?
The first poem I read, I can't remember now what the first poem was. I can't remember what it was.
How many poems did you read?
Probably read about 40 poems altogether, I would say, because I just, I recycle, like I just started again, or I pulled out a different collection on a different day. I was carrying far too much when I started, like it's got a lot lighter as I walked across 14th Street. I leave the house, I think, I'm just going to take something light. I'm not going to take this whole folder and whatever. And then I've tried to read one or two of Robert Toll's poems each day. So I kind of worked through the 1960s and into the 1970s with her poems. So I'll read, perhaps I should read one of her poems. I think I have one of her poems here now.
Okay.
Yeah?
Why not?
So, I've also been revising poems as I've gone. I've been putting the red lines through a number of things, and that's been good.
Looks for me and sounds for me like very spiritual exercise or spiritual work.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's hard to say anything much about it, but it's been very joyful. It's just been very joyful. I kind of thought, oh, I don't, because there's a lot of help in this. The organisers of this is the festival. It's AIOP, Art in Odd Places, and they're wonderful in terms of putting things out on Twitter and on Facebook and all that. And I'm, in the 19th century as regards all of that. But on the second day, somebody turned up from the New York Times, East Village blog with NYU, and the next day somebody turned up. So I've stopped worrying about all that and just reading the poetry. All I'm doing is giving people a chance to hear the poetry, or reading it into the street, like the street was a river. That was my image.